Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Get Creative iPad video course for the Apple Regional Training Centre. My name's Susan, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to explore how you can tell compelling stories using the iPad, and we're going to look specifically today at the iMovie app. We're going to spend a little bit of time looking at the different features that are in iMovie and what you can do with them, and as an example we're going to use some of the resources that we gathered in part 1 of this video course. So the first thing we're going to do is open up iMovie. You can see it's down here in my dock. It's a star with a little picture of the video inside. There's lots of really great features in iMovie that you and your students can use to be creative and to show their thinking and show their learning in a creative way. So let's go in and get started. Okay, so when iMovie first launches, you can see you get a screen that looks a bit like this with some previous videos that I've got in my library there. We're going to press the plus sign because we're going to create a new project. And here we have a couple of options. We can either choose a movie where we're able to combine videos and photos to make our own project, or we can follow a template and make a trailer. Now the trailers are super fun, but for our purposes today, we need a little bit more control of the editing process, so we're going to go ahead and click on movie. So the first thing that will happen is it will take you to all of the different videos and photos that you have already on your camera roll. So up in the top left corner there, you can see it says media. I'm just going to click back into that main menu, and you can see we've got a choice there of the different sections of the camera roll to go in and have a look at. Basically what iMovie is asking you to do is choose some photos, choose some videos so that it can use those as content for the project, because at the moment there's nothing at all in it. It's got nothing to create a movie with. So what we're going to do is press the bottom one, which is albums. I'm going to click on that one. And you can see there all of the different albums that I have on my camera roll have come up. Now right at the bottom of that list, there's an album that hopefully looks familiar to you, and it's the Beach Poem album. I'm going to press on that one. You can see there are the photos that we collected in part 1 of the video using Safari. Remember, we searched for those reusable images. There are also the screenshots that we took using the Maps app of the satellite images of Bambra Beach. And there is the video clip. I've popped that into this folder as well of me introducing the poem. So all of the videos and the images that we want for this beach poem are there in that folder. So all I need to do now is select them. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm going to start with the introduction video. So you can see as soon as I select that and tap on that one image, down at the bottom of the screen, right in the middle, it now says create movie. So even just by adding that one piece of media, it's able to then use that to create a movie. So we'll collect up those other images. I'll just grab a few of them. We could always add more. We'll go in and look at how to do that. And then down at the bottom there, I'm going to press now that I've chosen the photos and videos that I want. You can have a mixture of both, or you can have just photos or just videos. And I'm going to press on create movie. Okay, so what happens is iMovie loads your video clips and photos into the project in the order you selected them. So at the moment it's gone to the very end of the last photo that we loaded up, and I can see that there because this white line down the middle of the page here, that's called the playhead. So anything that is on the left hand side of that white line has already been played, and anything on the right hand side of that black line has still to play. It'll make a bit more sense once we start to look at it. So if I just with my finger put it onto that line there and move it along a bit, you can see if I keep going, keep moving it along. So there are all the photos in the order that we had put them in. Well, that one's a bit blurry, we might need to do something about that one. So let's just have a quick look at what's there. And here's a little video clip of me talking right at the start. Okay, so like I say, anything on the left of the white line has already played, anything on the right of the white line still has to play. So let's just have a look at some of the other things that are going on in here. I've talked about the white line there, the playhead. This triangle here button there, this play button, that's exactly what it is. It's the play button. So if we press on that, you can see it's now running through the movie. There was a little transition there. We'll come back and look at those. So there's the next photo, on to the next one. And you can see the play buttons change to the 2 lines. So if I press the 2 lines, we can pause it. Up here, this one with the line and the triangle on it, that'll take it back a section. So if you wanted to move back one whole photo or one whole transition, you can see there just by pressing on it, it moves it back that amount. So we'll keep going so it's all the way at the start of the project. There it is, okay. Over here, you've got a little microphone and a camera. You can actually do voiceovers in real time, and you can use the camera to take pictures as well. So we're not going to look at the camera one today because we've already got our photos in, but you could use that to take photos and they would import straight into iMovie. We'll come back to the microphone one in a little while. The other thing that I want to just quickly show you before we start looking at the video we're making properly is up here, the little question mark. You can see what I've done there is I've turned on the help labels. So everything that can do something on your screen will have a little label that will tell you what it can do. And there's also the learn more button down at the bottom here if you want to go further into the help pages. So there's a lot of help there, a lot of information there if you need it when you're working with iMovie. I'm going to just turn that off for just now, but we can always turn it back on if we need it. The other one up here is settings. Again, we can go into that one and it gives us some options. We could put a filter onto the project. We could give it a theme. So iMovie has got some pre-recorded themes. This news one is quite good. I've used that before with classes and they really like it if they want to make a sort of news report about something. It's got the music and the graphics that kind of goes along with that. So you can scroll along and you can have a look at the different themes that are ready there for you. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we can do with this video. I'm going to go past the introductory one just now. I just want to show you a little bit more about what you can do with the clips that you have brought in. So say for instance we decided we wanted to have this clip here of the castle after the one that follows it. To do that, all I would do is press and hold on that clip and I can pick it up. So I've just got my forefinger on the screen, I'm moving it around like this, and I can move that to anywhere I want. So I can put it after that one if I want to, and if I move it along and I think, well no, actually I'd like it after the next one, again I can just pick it up and I can just drop it in there and it'll just move it along. So it's really easy to just reorder clips. This one here that we brought in, I'm not happy with at all because you can see it's just really bloody, it's too zoomed in and I really don't like it. So what I can do with this one that's just really blurry and out of focus, that one's not going to work for us I don't think, is if I press on it once, it comes up with this, I'll just move it over. If I press on it once, you can see it comes up with this yellow box around it, it highlights it. And in the bottom right hand corner, I can go ahead and just press the waste paper bin and just delete it, so it's gone from my project. I might decide I want to add in another image to replace the one that I've just taken out. So to do that, I would go up here to the plus sign in the top right hand corner, and I've got that menu again where I can choose the different photos. So if I go back into albums and down into beach poem, you can see there I've got a choice and I can add any one that I want. We'll go for this nice sunset one, I'm not sure if that one's already in or not. Now from here, I've got a choice. I can add it directly in to my timeline. I've also got that little ellipsis, the dot, which we know anytime you're in an app on iPad, if you press on that, it gives you more functionality, more options. So let's have a little look and see what those options are. It's given me a choice for how I want to add that picture in. I can add it as a cutaway, a picture in picture, a split screen, or a green-blue screen. Now we'll come back to those features a little bit later in this video. For our purposes at the moment, all we're going to do is just to add it in the regular way into the timeline of images for this movie. So I'm just going to press on the plus sign and in it goes. And then if I tap anywhere down here, it puts that menu away again. If I wanted it back, again, I would just press the plus sign and it would be back there. and I could add more if I wanted to. So I'm going to move back now just by swiping along the timeline there to the very start of the video, and you can see that I've started it with that clip of me talking. So let's go in and do a little bit of editing now. So what we're doing is we're really refining that creative process to make the message as clear as possible. So if I press on that first part, that video of me down at the bottom there in the timeline, there it goes, it's got that little yellow line around it. Now once it's highlighted like that, you've got a series of options. Down at the bottom here are some of the things that we can do. We can change the speed that the video plays at. We can adjust the volume of the video. We can add some titles to the video. And there's that option again to add a filter if we would like to. The very first thing that I'm going to do actually isn't using these tools down at the bottom. It's going to be using this tool all the way up here. It's the little magnifying glass. Now if I press on that, it highlights this option, pinch to zoom. So what I'm going to do is use my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm going to pinch on that large image up at the top of me talking. Now you can see there, that allows me to zoom it out. I could zoom it in. I can't think why you would want to have my face in any more of a close-up. But if I zoom it out, it just means that instead of my whole face filling the frame like that, which I didn't really like, I can make it fit to how I want it to. So you've got that option. When it's a video clip, you can readjust the size of it to suit. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And now that I'm happy with it, the size that it is, you can see the little magnifying glass in the top right hand corner. It's still highlighted. If I press it again, it's not highlighted any longer, and it means that that video will stay that size and shape. Let's play the video now and remind ourselves of what is said. It's flashing, but it's actually a timer up there. I don't know if you can quite see it, and if I lean forward you can sort of see it there. And I'm just going to say, hello, my name's Susan, and this is my poem called Beach Sounds. So I'm going to press the 2 lines to stop the video there, the pause button, and if I just scroll along with my finger and put it back to the start, you could hear there's a whole lot of me waffling on about stuff that's not really relevant. All we really want in that video clip is me introducing the poem Beach Sounds. So to do that, what I need to do here on this yellow part of the line that's a little bit thicker is I'm going to press on that and I'm going to pull it to the right. So I'm going to press on this part here and pull it slightly to the right. And what you'll see is the yellow box there, the yellow line, it'll chew up the part of the video that I don't want. So let's just have a look and watch that in action. So here we go. I'm pressing down on the line now, and you can see the playhead is moving along. I can do it slowly, and as I do it slowly, you can see in the big box at the top, I can keep an eye on what part of the video it is where I'm talking. I can move my hand more slowly, or I can do it more slowly, or I can do it quicker. So let's say it's roughly about there. I've taken my finger off now, and I'm going to press that play button again, the triangular button, just at the top of the white line. Hello, my name's Susan, and this is my poem called Beach Sounds. I'll pause that again there. So by complete fluke, that was probably about the right place. If I had gone too far, let's just look at that. So I'm going to press again on that thick part of the yellow line. You can see there, I'm going to move it right along, and let's see that it was going to be there. And if we press the triangular button again up at the top of the white line, and this is my poem called Beach Sounds. So you can see that time. And this is my poem called Beach Sounds. So I've cut away too much of the video just to show you the difference. But I don't need to panic about it. It hasn't gone anywhere. If I just select it and make it yellow again, all I have to do is on that thick yellow strip there where it's touching the white line, the playhead, I just pull it backwards. I just move my finger to the left this time instead of to the right, and you can see the video is still there. I can put as much of it back in as I want to. So let's go again. We'll press the play button. Hello, my name's Susan, and this is my poem called Beach Sounds. So that's probably quite fine. That does the job. So that is how you can quickly edit a video clip. Just having a quick look down at the bottom, you can see the filters are still all there. I'll press on a couple of them so you can see the difference. If you wanted to put a filter on it, then you could. I like that Blockbuster one. I always think that makes me look a bit better. We'll just leave it at none for just now. Some of these other options down at the bottom here, we talked about speed earlier on, so just for a laugh, I'll show you the difference. You can see there it's got the little tortoise on the left and the hare on the right, so it's pretty self-explanatory. You can just move this white ball in the middle up or down accordingly. So if I slide it down, and then we press the play button. Okay, that's quite freaky. Highlight my video again to get the option, and we can go the other way this time and speed it up.
Hello, my name's Susan, and this is my blog called Beach Sounds.
So you can imagine how much children love doing that, turning themselves into a slow-mo tortoise or a little talking chipmunk and make it really fast. Really useful for slowing down a clip of a student's performance in PE or speeding up a science experiment. So that's quite a fun feature. You can always reset it as well if you want to, but it is quite good fun to just play with that. Also down at the bottom here, if I press on that one with the T, you can see we can add a title, and there's lots of different options for ways to do that. I usually use this reveal one, and I could then, if I tap where it says title text here, if I tap on there, it lets me edit that text. What we might want to do is put a photo first and have the title slide on there. So to do that, I would just go up to the top right hand corner to the plus sign, choose an image, and then just go ahead and press the plus sign again. And you can see because the playhead was right at the start, it's put that photo right at the beginning. So now I've highlighted the photo one and I'm still on the titles tab. You can see down at the bottom of the screen there. I'm going to again press on that reveal one. This is very similar to PowerPoint or something like that. It's just helping you decide how the words appear on the screen. So you can go in and you can have a go with them and change them however you like. So again, I'm going to press where it says title text here, and I'm going to edit that and just use the keypad to call it Beach Sounds. So we can just put the playhead right at the start and see how that looks. So there we go. It's coming up and saying Beach Sounds.
Hello, my name's Susan, and this is my poem called Beach Sounds.
I'll just press the pause button again there. So it's already starting to look a wee bit more professional and a wee bit better, just by adding in that title page there. We're going to go a little bit further forward here and miss out those first two now, and have a look here at another photo. So down at the bottom there, we're still on titles. You can see if I press on the pair of scissors where it says actions, it takes me back to the start here and it gives me a few choices. We'll focus here on what we can do in terms of editing photo clips that are put into the project. Okay, so we're going to have a quick look here at some of the other things we can do with photos when we're editing inside of iMovie. So this image here you can see is one of the screenshots that we had taken using the Maps app. First of all, we can decide how long the photo plays for in the movie. So it works in exactly the same way as the video clips. I just put my finger on the thick yellow line on the playhead and we can chew up some of the photo to make it not play for as long, or indeed we can push it the other way and make the photo play for much longer. So just by tapping on it once so it gets the yellow outline, we can adjust very easily how long the photo is on the screen for. Now by default, the photos in iMovie have got something called the Ken Burns effect enabled. Now what that means is, when the photos play in iMovie, they sort of scroll across the image from one side to the other as they are playing. And it just makes it a little bit more dynamic, a bit more interesting than looking at a completely still photograph. So that is called the Ken Burns effect. And you can see in the bottom right hand corner of the photo part of the screen there, those are the options that we've got to do it. You can see where it says Ken Burns enabled. If I press where it says that, Ken Burns enabled, then we can take that feature off. That'll mean it just plays completely still. So if I press the play button, you'll see what I mean. So the image is playing there, but it's not changing, compared to the next image where it's scrolling across the picture as it plays. And again, the next one. I'll just pause that again. If we go back to the first one we were working on there and highlight it. So where it says Ken Burns disabled, I'm going to just put it back on so it's enabled and show you how you can set that up. So you can, where it says pinch to position the start, you can see that tab's open at the moment. So I can, with my finger, move the image around the screen and decide where I want it to start from. If you were making a movie where you wanted to pan down the front page of a newspaper or focus in particularly on a headline, say, you might decide you want to have the start position be at the top and then the end position be at the bottom. So the tab that's open, pinch to position the start, whatever's on the screen while that is open is where the panning, where the scrolling of the image will start from. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to close that one up just by pressing on it. And if I press the one beneath it, we've got that end position. So I can decide where I want that to be in my image. So I might want it to be much further down, maybe around here. So if I press that one again and close it up. So if I press the top one, you can see the image is going to start up at the top there. And if I press the next one, it's going to finish down at the bottom. So it's just going to scroll between those two places. Now, how long the photo plays for will determine how quickly it scrolls down the image. So if I put my finger at the end on the yellow tab there and make that clip quite short, and then we press play, you can see it scrolled through that really quite quickly. And again, if I tap it to highlight it and make it longer, and then press play, it scrolls much more slowly because it's on the screen for longer. So iMovie will control that and sort all that automatically for you, which is quite a cool feature. I'll just press the pause button again. I'm going to make that photo slightly shorter because it's probably a bit on the long side now. Again, just by scrubbing along, just pushing my finger along that play headline there, it just chews it up or spits it out. Lets me have more or less of the photo on show. One thing I do want to mention, you can see up at the top of the screenshot image the date and the time, the different symbols, the battery, because it was a screenshot of everything that was on the screen at the time. Now, if you remember in part one, we actually looked at how you could save a screenshot that didn't include that information on the screen, that only recorded the image rather than the additional icons that come along with the screenshot recording. Now, if you remember, we saved an image like that as an example as a PDF. When it's full page like that, you can't save it as a photo into your camera roll. You have to save it as a PDF, and it went into the Files app. So I'm just going to come out of iMovie for a moment by pressing the home button, and I'm going to go into the Files app, which in my dock is actually right next door to the iMovie app. It's the blue folder with the white background. So if I press on there, and you can see there is that image from part one's video called Bambara. So if I press on there, you can see there's the image itself with none of that writing up at the top, no date or time or battery power or anything on the image. So that's a PDF that cannot jump into iMovie because it's not a photo and it's not a video. Now, there is a way of getting around that. And you will find when you're working with the students in your class, they will say to you all the time, oh, I wanted to do this, but it won't let me. Or I'm trying to work out how to do this, but I can't find a way to do it. Digital learning is a bit like that, and I like nothing better than being able to say, oh, well, come on, there'll be a way to do it. Let's go and work it out together. And you can use your combined experience and your ideas to find a solution to a problem. Digital learning's brilliant for that. So don't ever be put off if you think, oh, I want to do this, but I can't. There's always a way to do these things. The Apple Teacher Learning Centre is a brilliant place to go to find quick and easy tips, extra ideas, ways of using apps that you might never have thought of. It is a really good place to go and have a look if there are things that you're struggling with. I would really encourage you to encourage your students to not give up. If you can't work out a way to do it straight away, there will honestly be a way to do it, even if it's just your own wee workaround. So that's what I'm showing you just now. It's just a wee workaround of how I can get that PDF image into iMovie. And all I'm going to do, it's so simple, is I'm just going to take another screenshot because I've got my PDF, it doesn't have the writing on the screen now, so if I take a screenshot of that, I can put it straight in. So I'm going to do that by pressing the power button at the top, the home button at the bottom. And there it is, there's my screenshot. We know that that'll jump straight over into my camera roll. So if I press the home button to come back to the home page, and then bottom right corner go into my camera roll and into recents. There's that image down at the bottom. Now you know by now how tidy I like to keep my folders, and again that's a really good thing to reinforce with your students. So I'm going to go up to the top right and press select, bottom right to select that image, and then over to the share button in the top left hand corner of the screen. Scroll down and I'm going to add it to album, and you know I'm going to add it to that beach poem album. So if I press the home button to come out of photos and go back into iMovie, and then up to the top right hand corner to press the plus button, into albums, into beach poem, and I'm going to press on that image and press the plus button again, and there it is. There's my lovely screenshotted image that doesn't have that writing up at the top of the screen. So that maybe sounded like a bit of a faff, and for our purposes just now it wouldn't have really mattered in the example that we're using, but you will come across times where that will actually be quite handy. And I have to say, screenshot is my absolute best friend. I use screenshot for everything, because it's just so easy to get the information you want, crop out the bits that you don't want, and then once it's a photo you can use it and send it practically anywhere. Okay, the next thing we're going to have a look at is the transition between the different clips in your movie. So to do that, I just click on this little icon here, which is the two triangles together. So we're basically clicking on the space between the different clips. Now, if you have ever worked with PowerPoint, which I'm sure you have, this will be really familiar to you, so I'm not going to spend ages talking about this. But basically, you can decide what the transition does. You can make it have no transition at all. Then if I press the play button, you can see it just quickly went from one to the other. You can have a theme transition, so that would fit with a theme if you'd added it up in the settings section. We looked at that earlier, you know, like the newspaper report one or something like that. You can have a dissolve, or you can make it a slide, a wipe, a fade. Just above those options there, you can see you've got how long each one's going to take, so you can choose between half a second, 1 second, 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. You can add sound effects between the slides changing. We'll just let you listen to that.
Sounds.
So basically that's there, and there are different features there. As I say, if you've ever used PowerPoint before, they'll be quite familiar to you, so you can make adjustments to have the transitions, the length and the style that suits your project best. Okay, I've moved right back to the start of the project now, and we're going to get on and see if we can add a little bit more content to it. So if you remember, the whole point of this was we were going to make a movie to showcase that poem Beach Sounds. So what we're going to do is add in a voiceover of the poem being read. So you can record straight into iMovie the voiceover that you want to do. So what we have to do first of all is just move the playhead along to where we'd want the poem to start. So it's probably here. So if you remember,
Beach sounds.
There's me introducing the poem. So we probably want the talking to start for the poem round about here. Now to record this as a voiceover, I need to have the words of the poem. So you can do that without needing another screen or another piece of paper really easily, just by using the app slider within iMovie. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the words on the screen at the same time as I'm also using iMovie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up slowly with my finger to bring up the dock. If I pull up quickly, it'll close iMovie and take me out to the home page. So I'll go back into iMovie. I don't want to do that, just want to pull up slowly. And what I'm going to do on the Files app is I'm going to press and hold. So I'm going to press, but I'm holding it in with my finger. So So you can see there, it's opened up the last few things that I had open in files. So the one that we want is the second one along there, my favourite place. So I'm going to press on that. And again, if I press and hold, it lets me bring that window up. So what I'm doing now is I'm bringing it up and I'm putting it on the right hand side of the screen. I could put it on the left hand side of the screen. I could put it up at the top if I wanted to. I'm going to put it here on the right hand side of the screen. So when I get it so that it sort of expands a little bit, you can see there, I'm going to just let go. And you can see there it has opened up the poem. So I can move that. I'm just using my finger and thumb to pinch it to the size that I want so that I've got my words handy there. iMovie still works behind that, so I can adjust that to where I want it to be, but I've also got my words on the screen. And it's these types of features that again are really useful for students. They're not having to hunt for other bits of paper or jotters or anything, particularly in the current climate. You can teach them that all of their resources can be stored on the iPad and they can all be accessed, and you can have multiple things on the screen at the same time. And that's a bit of a game changer in terms of just how productive they can be with the iPad. Okay, let's get on and get this voiceover recorded now. So you can see over at the side here, we've got those two options. Remember we said the camera would be if we wanted to take photos or videos and put them straight into iMovie. The microphone allows us to do a voiceover directly inside of iMovie. So I'm just going to press on that and you can see it gives me this box. Now I can only see part of the box because the Files app is in my way, but it's not a problem. What I can do is I can actually just move that to the other side. I don't want to put it away completely. If I swipe it right off the screen, it'll be gone, but I'm going to need it. I'm just going to move it to the other side. You can see that ready to record box. To get started, I'm going to have to press the record button, so it would be easier to have the words on here. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to press record. I'd rather be at the beach than at school, but I know that would not be cool. I want to be outside where I can smell the sea air, not in a stuffy room, it's just not fair. So today I will take a walk and enjoy what I hear. I think it helps to keep my mind clear. The seagulls yell and scream at each other. It's funny, they're just like me and my brother. Okay, so I'm going to stop it there because you get the idea. I'm finished with my words now. To just swipe that all the way off the screen now because I'm finished with the words. And to do that, I just swipe all the way across and off it goes. And you can see I'm back to my proper iMovie screen there, and I've got the option cancel, retake, review or accept. I'm going to go ahead and just accept it. So that has put that voiceover straight in to iMovie for us. And you can see it's sitting down at the bottom there as a recording. That is the voiceover that we have added to the project. Just as a little aside here, that was a really quick and easy way to put the voiceover straight into iMovie. There are loads of other ways to record voiceovers, and I just want to quickly show you one. So say for instance you were working with a class, maybe they were doing some French or Spanish or something, and you wanted them to listen to their pronunciation, say, and you weren't working necessarily in iMovie. So what you could do is, if we just press the home button, we'll come out of iMovie just for a second. You've got an app called Voice Memos. You can see it's in my dock there, and it's also in the second row. If I press into Voice Memos, this is a really easy app. I'll just show you it really quickly. Just tap the record button. Hello, we're learning about the Voice Memos app today. It's really, really useful. Hello, we're learning about the Voice Memos app today. It's really, really useful.
It's really, really useful.
So there you go, a really quick little voice recording. There's your share button up in the top left hand corner there of the white box. If I press on there, always gives me those options. I can save it to my files, duplicate it, I could edit it if I wanted to, I could airdrop it. So that voice memo app is really useful. We're not looking at it properly today, but I just want to highlight it to you as another option and another tool that's available on every iPad. Okay, so I'll press the home button and we'll get back to our iMovie. Right, so I'm just going to move my finger along and put everything right back to the very start. Now, if we give this a play, we've got our Beach Sounds starting title. It's not very engaging because it doesn't have any sounds. It's not got anything to go along with it, and it is called Beach Sounds. So just want to quickly show you what you can do about that. If I highlight that particular tile and we go back up to our friend the plus button in the top right hand corner. Now down at the very bottom of that menu, it'll always take you back to the last place you were. So the last place we were was that beach poem folder. Down at the very bottom you can see you've got a choice between media, which is what we're in just now, photos and videos, or audio. If I press on audio, it gives me a whole different menu. So this is all to do with adding sound to your project. So you could add a soundtrack. We mentioned that earlier on. A lot of these will be in the cloud and you'll need to download them if you want them. But if you want music to play across the whole of your video, then this is the tab for you. There's loads of different things you can do with sounds when you add them to projects. Too much probably for us to go into in this video today, but if it is something you're interested in, do go into the Apple Teacher Learning Centre and look at the iMovie resources, because they will really help you. You can edit the sound in your project just as easily as you can edit the images using very similar tools. So if it is something you're interested in, do go and have a look in the Apple Teacher Learning Centre to find out more about how you can do that. For our purposes just now, I'm just going to go back to audio. The next one's My Music, so if you had music stored of your own, then you could use it there. Similarly in recordings or files, if you'd recorded your voiceover using Voice Memo app, say, then it would be here. You could add it in. If you had any other music stored on your iPad that you wanted to use, you could add it in. Same as for images, always be really mindful of the copyright and encourage your students to do the same, that they shouldn't be using music in their projects that they don't have permission to use from the creator. And again, it is that dripping tap effect with students. If you bang on about it every single time, they will become very used to that, and it will become second nature to them to check that they have permission before they use something that doesn't belong to them. Let's go back though to that main audio menu, and the one we're going to go into is sound effects. Now these are super fun and they come along with the iMovie app, and they just are great. You don't have to worry about copyright with these because they're included with the app and you're able to just use these. So we'll just click on a few of them for fun. Coin drop. Dinosaurs, my favourite. Okay, so if I scroll down a little bit, I could use the search bar up at the top there. I'm just going to scroll down just so you can see some of the things that are here. Now there's one that might be handy for us, seagulls. I tap on that one and press the add button. It will drop that sound effect of the seagulls into my poem. Now you can see there it's way too long. Look how long it is. It's going on and on and on. That's going to be far too long for me. I only really want it on that start and title. So there's that thick yellow line, just exactly the same as we do with photos. I'm just going to move it back and chew up the bits I don't want and have it just come to there. I could make it fade out just as I'm starting to speak, so I could make it stop there before the transition, or I could make it stop there just after the transition. So let's try it there and see what it sounds like. So we'll go back along to the start and play.
Hello, my name's Susan, and this is my...
Here you go. It's not difficult at all to do, and it only took us a couple of seconds, but it does just make the video feel a little bit more engaging. Okay, so one final thing we're going to do before we finish up with this project is I'm going to go up to the settings icon again and open that up. And you can see there I've got the option to fade in from black and fade out to black. So I'm going to put both of those toggled to on. And really it just means that it looks a wee bit better as it comes in and goes out. It looks a wee bit more professional. Just makes it look a wee bit more finished off. So now that I've added those final features, I'm going to go up to the top left hand corner and I'm going to press on the word done. Now what that does is it allows us to play the movie on a slightly larger screen without the playhead and all those other things there. So we'll just play the start.
Hello, my name's Susan, and this is my poem called Beach Sounds.
I'd rather be at the beach than at school, but I know that would not be cool. I want to be outside where I can smell the sea air, not in a stuffy room, it's just not fair. So today I will take a walk and enjoy what I hear. I think it helps to keep my mind clear. Okay, so I'll just stop it there. You get the idea. If I saw that and thought, no, there's changes I still want to make, you can see the big circle there. I could go in and edit it. Where it says My Movie, I'm going to just press on there, and that lets me change what this is called. So we can call it Beach Poem Demo. And then if I was happy with that, again, there's your options down at the bottom there to play it, which is what we just did. The middle one there gives us the share button. So if I press on there, we're getting very familiar with that now. I can save the video. I can save it to files, or I can export it. So if I go on to save, this is the menu that it gets. I always save mine in HD, the bottom HD option there, just so it's in the best quality. It does take a wee while to save onto your iPad if it's in HD, but it does make a difference. And then once it's saved, it will appear in your camera roll as a video, and you can then decide, my students can decide what they want to do with it. So that's how you would get it out of iMovie when you were finished with it. But just bear in mind, you don't want them to be exporting it or saving it into the camera roll until they're happy with it, because you can't make any further changes at that point. So any editing that still needed to be done, you'd want to do that inside of iMovie and only export it once it was completely and totally finished. You could then use AirPlay, choose your Apple TV and toggle on to mirroring to put the movie straight up onto the screen. That is the end of part 2 of this Get Creative with iPad video course. I hope that will help you and encourage you to go and explore iMovie. It really is amazing, and all the different things that you can do using iMovie with your students. Do join me for part 3 of the video course, where we're going to have some fun looking at the Clips app and also Book Creator, and considering some alternative ways that you can help your students to tell those compelling stories and to really be creative and get their ideas across in a fun and engaging way. I hope to see you then. Bye for now.